Okay, we are going to be skinning a duck and getting it ready for mounting. Apparently I need a new water bottle. So what I do is go from like the top of the breast up here, and I'll make a cut all the way down to around about here or so. If you have a water bottle, kind of helps to get those pin feathers to lay down, so you can get a nice clean cut. All right, and you're going to take your knife, or I use a scalpel, and start about there. Just make one nice clean cut all the way down. And then we're going to start skinning it out. You need something to cut through those bones. This is what I use. It works really good. When you get down here to the tail, you just want to kind of gently push the skin back and just kind of cut along the edge there as you make your way back. And we're going to take and cut a little V right here where these tail feathers connect. And separate the tail feathers. Keep skinning down. And get down far enough you can gently take your fingers and try to separate that skin from the meat. And you're going to take your knife again where the wing joint is, and you're going to just cut the tendons that connect it along with the meat. All right. Once you get that, you can take and push your hand around almost the neck area. Kind of twist a little bit, pull. And we're going to cut the neck there. And then we're going to measure this later, so we can just set it aside for now. And pull the head back out. I've just got a little piece of like 12 gauge wire and stick in here to keep his mouth open while I'm skinning. And what we're going to do is we're going to go right along the edge of the beak. I'm going to skin that all the way around. We're going to flip it and do the same thing all the way around. I want to make sure everything is skinned away from the beak. That way nothing ends up ripping or tearing on you. The best way to do this is just to keep skinning and working at it. As far as you can go, turn, do the same thing. And that will save you from having to deal with rips or tears in the bird. And back to the eye. Just want to try to stay right at the edge of that skin. Well, you're not putting holes in the bird also. And once you get back here, you're getting toward the ear canal. You don't want to cut it up here. You want to cut it back in here. And you can sit there and just keep working it back. Once I get it that far, I take, again, hold at the edge here, and then you can take and twist and pull, and it'll just come out. And we want to set this aside too, because we're going to measure it as well. Now we're going to flip it inside out, and we're going to work on the wings. Okay, you can see where it meets up with the meat and everything. I'm going to try to cut right on the edge of that. And slowly take your time. Work your way all the way around the wing. The safest thing to do is just to keep working it all the way around. And I've got a little faster to where I can just pull them out. You just want to be careful doing this, but again, you just take your finger, put it around the edges here, pull until you get right to that joint. And continue cutting around. If you do put a little hole, it's not that big a deal. Once I get here, I get that all cut around here next to that joint and right through here. Take your knife or whatever you're using to cut with, put it at the edge, and push. Then gently pull, and you have your wing free. Now we're going to cut all the meat away. And keep working it until you get the majority. You want to get as much meat as you can. Okay, and we're going to flip the bird and do the other wing the same way. And that would be Atlas. These are 5-year-old German Shepherd. I started working for a taxidermist back in 2012. He taught me the majority of what I know. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. Alright, once we get that far, can we get some of these big chunks of meat off? Some of them you'll be able to get by hand. Pinch it and pull it off. You want to be careful in doing this. It might be safer just to use a knife or scissors. And then we're going to come down here to the tail. You have these glands down here. You want to make sure and get these off. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. That's what we're going to do. Pull that skin back a little bit and just kind of work your way around them till you get down on the sides, and then you're going to go underneath them. So you're going to go around the top, and you're going to come down here just in between the glands and the quills for the tail feathers. Just barely work your way in. You don't want to cut a hole through if you can help it. If you do, it's not a big deal. Work them away. And then just discard of the meat. Flip it over, and we're going to clean the meat off the other side of the quills. So there's going to be, where we cut that V in it earlier, there's still going to be some bone left. So you want to go ahead and cut the rest of that bone out. Just grab a hold of it, twist it, and pull. That should be good. A little bit left in there. That ought to do it. And then we can go ahead and clean these off. If you're just careful, you can kind of scrape the meat off. Not a big deal. And then you want to separate these quills. Just take your knife, and each quill you want to go in between them and separate that. Should be good. Then what I like to do is go around and finish cleaning up some of this meat. The more meat you get off, the easier it's going to be to flesh. Which will be our next step. And this bone's broke, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it the rest of the way off. Keep working at it. You just want to cut it a little bit at a time, that way you don't accidentally cut a hole through. Flip it over, kind of go around these tail feathers here. Okay. Clean some of this up here off. Some of those bigger chunks of fat around the legs. Go ahead and clean that off. All of this just makes it easier to flesh. And that is the skinning. We're done with the skinning. And now we'll go on to the fleshing.